Let's get on to the specifics on how I would schedule a conceptual dream channel, mainly consisting of anime in the morning until the early evening and opera from the early evening until the very early morning next day would look like. So from the early morning until, let's say, 10 a.m., I would love for a lot of the Nippon Animation Studios works to be the morning block. Mainly Little Women, Nobody's Girl, Nobody's Boy, and even a lot of the fairy tale adaptations, such as Snow White and Cinderella. Basically, a lot of the G-rated anime, mainly based on literature as well as themes that are very suitable for a much younger audience. And from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., that's when a lot of the shonen and shoujo anime would be airing, such as Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and even Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin or Samurai X, and maybe even squeeze in a little bit of Inuyasha for fun. From 2 p.m. until 6 p.m., that's when the seinen and josei anime would be airing, such as Paradise Kiss for the josei side, as well as Nana, and Black Lagoon for the seinen side, just to name a few. Oh, and lest I forget about Berserk and Bakano. Then from 6 p.m. until the very, very early morning the next day, like we're looking at 5:30 a.m., it'd be all opera. I'd imagine from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m., it would be a lot of Mozartian operas such as Die Zauberflöte and Don Giovanni, Così fan tutte, Le nozze di Figaro, Die Entführung aus dem Serail, Idomeneo, or The Schauspieldirektor, just to name a few. And from 9 p.m. until 12 midnight, I think that this would be a nice time for a lot of the Wagnerian operas or the Verdi operas, basically the grand operas, and the from midnight until like the morning the next day, probably the grand French operas or even a lot of the Czech or Russian operas. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below to see if you do agree with this programming schedule or if you have your own.